curtain in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank
5 minutes.
you. 5 minutes.
Welcome, everyone, and happy Mother's Day to any mothers out there watching this afternoon. Thank you for joining us for our third production of ZooMatinee. Hold on one second, I have Facebook open. So I'm getting a little bit of feedback, but I will, here we go, that is better. So thank you for joining us on our third production of ZooMatinee, a live broadcast series, partnership series between 171 Cedar Art Center and Elmira Little Theater. My name is Mitchell Hurricane Smith, and yes, Hurricane is my real middle name. I am the Marketing and Development Manager for 171 Cedar Art Center, and I also serve as the Treasurer for ELT. We have just finished 50 days on pause, and as we begin the 8th week of sequestering, I want to say week 7 was rough. There has been many a morning that I have lied in bed and asked why bother, and I have a natural proclivity for depression, and I created this project here as a way to stay focused and busy during this uncertain time. Each day is a struggle to fight back my doubts and demons and keep moving forward. I do not say this to gain sympathy from anyone, but rather to remind everyone struggling that you are not alone. We are all functioning in limbo, and if there are days when you can no longer slap on a happy face and pretend to be fine, that's fine. We are all weathering the same storm, but with very different vessels for navigating through it. And if you are thriving, congratulations. I am truly happy for you. And for most days, I am getting along just fine myself. But if you are not, that's okay too. Maybe you didn't learn that new instrument or create that new artwork or the many things we promised ourselves we would accomplish going into this. These are uncharted waters, but again, that's okay. If you are struggling, please find help. There are resources to help you find healthy ways of coping during the isolations. Search online, call a friend, go for a walk. Just know that you are not alone. And I hope that with what 171 and ELT are doing here today, we are able to help it feel a little less isolating. Now, before I start today's show, I would like to talk about what 171 and ELT are doing to keep our patrons, fans, community, and families engaged. First, ELT has started a video series featuring area high school seniors singing some of their favorite show tunes and presenting monologues from their favorite shows in our senior spotlight. New videos are posted every Friday at 10 a.m. And for details on getting your senior spotlighted, email elmiralittletheater@gmail.com. And we will be happy to tell you how to get involved in this series. 171 has added several new online classes to our website, and we are currently planning to move Kaleidoscope, our annual fundraising gala, to a virtual venue. So mark your calendars for Saturday, June 6th, and plan to spend the evening with 171. You can find additional information about Kaleidoscope on 171's website under our event tab. Now, on with the show. It is 2 a.m. on a fine July night. The French doors are open on the lawn. The room is dark, and Sir Geoffrey, Transom, a man in his 40s with a frank, pleasant face, is seated deep in thought in the dark. Suddenly, the door opens, and Lady Torminster appears and switches on the light. She starts at seeing Sir.
Oh!
Oh, hello. Don't be afraid. It's only I.
What a start you gave me. Why haven't you gone to bed?
I'm tired of going to bed. One always has to get up again, and it becomes monotonous. Why haven't you gone to sleep?
Oh, I don't know. It's hot or something. I've come for a book.
Let me choose one for you.
Why were you sitting in the dark?
Because the light annoyed me. Now, what sort of book do you have? A red one or a green one?
Is there virtue in the color of the binding?
Why not? They're all the same inside. There are 300 ways, they say, of cooking a potato. There are as many ways as dressing up a lie and calling it a novel. But it's always the same old lie. Here, take this one. Popular Astronomy. It'll put you right to sleep.
I'm afraid of the stars. But I'll give it a try. Good night.
Good night.
And you really had better get to bed.
I move as an amendment that you sit down and talk.
At this time of night?
Why not? It's day in the Antipodes.
In this attire?
Pooh, you are more dressed than you were at dinner. Oh, that's awfully rude, isn't it? But then, you see, you're not my hostess now, you're a spirit, walking in the night. One can't be polite to spirits. Sit down, O shade, and let us converse.
I don't know.
The household have all retired, and we will make this concession to Mrs. Grundy. We will leave the door open. There, the open door. Centuries ago, when I was alive, I remember paragraphs with that heading.
So you're not alive now?
Oh, Sir Geoffrey Transom ceased to be when he said good night to Lady Torminster. Sir Geoffrey is asleep upstairs. So is her ladyship. We are their souls. Let us talk.
You are in your whimsical mood.
And you in your wrapper, peignoir, tea gown, it don't matter what you call it. You look jolly. Ridiculous word. I don't mean that at all. You look, you. More you than I've seen you for years. Don't interrupt. Shades never do that. By the way, do you know that the old lumber room, my owner, my corporeal sheath, means to go away in the morning before you are up?
Sir Geoffrey, what nonsense! You promised to stay a month.
Oh, I assure you I've been charged to invent fitting and appropriate lies to account for the ridiculous creature's abrupt departure. The man Transom is a poor liar.
You're making me giddy. Would you mind putting on your body? I've not been introduced to your soul.
Oh, how remiss of me. Permit me. Gertrude, this is Geoffrey. You've often heard me speak of him.
I think I'll go to bed.
Now, that is preposterous. Jack, my dear old friend, my best and only friend in the world, is slumbering peacefully upstairs. And Jack's wife is reluctant to talk to Jack's old pal because the sun happens to be hidden on the other side of the globe. Lady Torminster, sit down. If you're good, you shall have a cigarette.
Well, just one. And when I finish it, I'll go.
Agreed. And, while smoking it, remember Penelope's web, for I've heaps of things to tell you.
They'll keep till tomorrow.
Oh, that's a fearful delusion. Nothing keeps. There was one law in this universe. Now.
I want to know what you mean by this nonsense about your going.
Yes, I'm off in the morning. It has occurred to me that I haven't been to China. Now, that is a serious omission. How can I face my forefathers and confess to them that I haven't seen the land where the foreign labor comes from?
Well, China has waited a long time. A month more or less will make no difference. They are a patient race.
There is gypsy blood in my veins. I must wander. I'm restless. But not like Jack. He's untroubled. He can sleep. Jack's a fine sleeper, isn't he?
Yes,
calm, serene, untroubled, with the conscience of a babe. 1, 2, 3, he sleeps. He and I have had some rare times together. I've been roped to him on the side of the Andes. He shot a tiger that was about to scrunch me. I rubbed his nose when it was frostbitten. He saved my life. I saved his nose. I always maintain that the balance of gratitude is on his side, for where would he have been without a nose?
You are absurd.
Would you have married him without a nose?
I might have.
Oh, now you know you wouldn't. You'd have been afraid of what people would say, and what he would have done when he became short-sighted and had to wear glasses.
My cigarette has gone out.
Oh, take another. Never relight a cigarette. It's like dragging up the past.
I said only one.
Now is not the hour for inflexibility. The Medes and Persians have all gone to bed.
Tell me why you mean to leave us, and remember, I shan't let this one go out.
My explanation will be handed to you with your cup of tea in the morning.
And you will be gone.
I shall be gone. There is a train at 7:45, which will be packed with husbands. I shall breakfast in town.
Why?
Well, one must breakfast somewhere. It's a convention.
Geoffrey, I want you to tell me what this means.
Give your decision, said the judge to the arbitrator, but never your reasons. I go because I go. Besides, has one reasons? Why do people die or get married or buy an umbrella? Is it because of typhoid or love or the rain? Not at all. Isn't that so?
I wish you'd be serious.
Oh, I'm fearfully serious. When Jacques shot that tiger, he had to go so near the brute that he held his life in his hands. And do you know what was my chief impression as I lay there with the cat's paw upon my chest beginning to rip me?
Oh, horrible. What?
I resented his having eaten something that smelt of onions.
A tiger.
But you should have seen me rub Jack's nose.
Sir Geoffrey, there's very little cigarette left.
But there are lots more in the box, and dawn is a long way off. Hang it, Lady Torminster. Don't be in a hurry. Do you hear the sea out there? It's breathing as regularly as old Jack. And don't you think this is fine? Here we are, we two, meeting just as we shall meet on the other side of the Never Never Land. It's a chance for a man to speak to a woman, tell her things.
What things?
That's just it. What things? What have I to say, after all? I'm going tomorrow because I'm a fantastic, capricious ass. And because I'm lonely.
How will China help you?
Well, they color it green on the map, and there is such a lot of it.
You should get married.
You say that! You!
So, that is why you are going.
Well, now that really is fine of you. Every other woman in the world would have seized that for a chance for a melodramatic exit. Good night, Sir Geoffrey. I must go to my husband. Good night, Lady Torminster. A clasp of the hand, a hot tear, mine, on your wrist. But you sit there, splendid.
I ask you again, is that truly why you are going?
Well, yes, that's the fact. I apologize humbly. It's so conventional, isn't it?
I suppose it's difficult for humans to invent new solutions.
Well, you've known it, of course, all the time. You've known it ever since Jack brought me to you the day after you were engaged. And that's 9 years ago. It's the usual kind of fatality.
These things happen.
Yes, well, I thought I was cured. I've been here 5 days, and I find I am not. So I go. That's the best, isn't it?
Yes.
It's so infernally stupid. You're a beautiful woman, of course, but there are heaps of beautiful women. You've qualities, and, well, so have other women too. I'm only 41, and as you say, why don't I marry? Simply because of you. Because you've an uncomfortable knack of intruding between me and the other lady.
That is a great misfortune.
Oh, it's most annoying. So I shall try China. I shall come back in 2 years. I shall be 43 then. I shall come back, sound as a bell, and I shall marry some healthy, pink-cheeked young woman. Take a house next to yours, and in the fullness of time, your eldest son will fall in love with my daughter.
Why not?
I shouldn't have told you, of course, but I'm glad that I have. It clears the air. Now, what excuse shall I make?
A wire from town?
Well, Jack knows all about my affairs. In fact, that's why I take the early train, to avoid his questions.
And you find it impossible to stay out your time here?
Quite. There are times when I am unpleasantly volcanic.
Now I tell you the best thing to do. Don't take your trunks, just go up with your bags. Leave a note that you come back on Tuesday, then write from town and say you're prevented.
That's a good idea. Yes, that's much better.
And if you find that you really cannot come back,
Exactly. You'll forward my goods and chattels, and old Jack will ascribe it all to my wayward mood. He'll think that I've found it too dull here. Oh, I am immensely obliged.
remark that I have not offered to be a sister to you.
Oh, you've been superb. Oh, the good talk we've had. Do you know, I almost wish old Jack to have heard what I said. I'm so fond of him, that grand old fellow, that I've been on the point of telling him, myself, more than once. For you know he will have me take you about, and it's painful. Besides, I've felt it almost disloyal to keep this from him. You understand, don't you?
Yes.
He and I are almost one, you see. It's not British to show any feeling, but really, I love him. And the devil comes along, and of all the women in the world, singles out Jack's wife and fills my heart with her. That's the devil's sense of humor.
Perhaps he has read Bernard Shaw, but you must never let Jack know. Never.
I suppose not. He's so direct, so single-minded. The shock would be terrible. But I'm not to blame. How could I help it? Oh, all that cackle of being master of one's fate.
2 years in China.
Oh, yes, we'll hope so. Of course, it didn't matter about my telling you, because you knew already.
Yes, I knew. Although
You've done what you could. I felt in 100 subtle ways you imploring me not to. Well, there it is. I'll write that note at once.
I'm sorry you are so lonely.
Oh, that's my fault too. The fault of the ridiculous class to which we belong. I don't do anything.
Why not?
Well, what would you have me do? Go into the house? Thank you, I've been there. You spend your time out on the terrace or in the smoke room till a muffin bell rings. Then you gravely walk into the lobby where an energetic gentleman counts you as Polyphemus counted his sheep. Philanthropy? Well, I've tried that, but it's not in my line. I'm quite a respectable landlord, but a fellow can't live all by himself in a great Elizabethan barrack. Town? The season? Christian mothers invite you to inspect their daughters' shoulders with a view to purchase. Oh, I've tired of golf and polo. I've tired of bridge. So I'll try the good sea and the open plains. I'll sleep in a tent and watch the stars twinkle. The stars that make you afraid.
Yes, I'm afraid of the stars.
Why?
You remember the Persian poet. I too have said to the stars and the wind, I will. But the wind and the stars have mocked me. They laugh in my face.
Persian poets, like all poets, have a funny way of pretending that the stars take an interest in us. To me, it's their chief charm that they're so unconcerned. They're lonely too.
Don't say that. Just don't. I can't bear it.
Gertrude.
Yes.
Well, I suppose we had better turn in.
When will you go to China?
I shall take the first boat.
And you will come back?
In a year, or 2, or 3.
We shall hear from you.
Oh, certainly. And I will send you chests of tea, best family souchong, and jars of ginger, and also little boxes that fit into each other. I'm afraid that's all I know at present of Chinese manufacture.
You will be away so long.
Well, you told me to do something. I shall learn Chinese. I believe there are 500 letters in the alphabet.
As many as that?
It's possible that I exaggerate. Well, Lady Torminster, I think I'll say good night.
The sun is still shining in the Antipodes, my dear Geoffrey, and you are still Jack's old friend, talking to Jack's wife. Sit down and don't be foolish. You'll be away for years. It's possible we may never meet again. Possible, too, that next time we do meet, you may be married.
Who knows?
Exactly. Who knows? So there's no reason why we shouldn't look each other squarely in the face for once and speak out what's in us.
Oh, Lady Torminster, what is there to say?
How you resent my having told you.
Resent? I?
You do, and you know it. In your heart, you are saying, all was going so well. She has spoiled it. If she does love me, she shouldn't have said it. Jack's wife.
Well, Jack's wife, yes.
Geoffrey, Jack bores me.
Lady Torminster.
There, I've said it. Oh, such a relief. I never have before, and I don't suppose I ever shall again. For whom can I say it to but you? Listen, I tell you, quite entre nous, he bores me shockingly.
Lady Torminster, I beg of you.
The best fellow in all the world, and he bores me. A heart of gold, a model husband, a perfect father, and a bore. There, I assure you I feel better.
I suppose there are moments when every woman says that of every man.
Oh, my dear Geoffrey, please send for your soul. It has wandered off somewhere, and I don't like talking to copybooks.
You are talking to Jack's friend.
Jack's friend and mine. Don't forget that. And could I say these things about Jack to anyone else but you? And can't you conceive what a joy it is to say them? Besides, aren't we just now on the rim of the world? Aren't we just a little more than ourselves? Aren't we almost on the other side of things? If we ever meet again, we shall look curiously at each other and wonder, was it all true? As it is, I'm scarcely sure that you are even real. Everything is so still, so strange. Jack, he is up there, of course, the dear boy, his big red face pressed on the pillow. Oh, Geoffrey, when Jack brought you to me and I was engaged, if only you hadn't been so loyal.
Do you know what you are saying?
I am saying the things a woman says once in her lifetime and feels all her life. It was all so simple. You loved me. You were blind because of Jack. And I married Jack. I mustn't complain. I'm one of the hundreds of women who marry Jacks.
A better, finer man never lived.
I dare say. In fact, I am sure. But you should see us when we are sitting there night after night, with never a word to say to each other. You tell me you're tired of polo and golf and bridge. Well, how about me? I need you be scowling so fiercely and begrudge me my one little wail, you who are going away.
Yes, I am going away, and I shall marry a Chinese. I shall marry the first Chinese woman I meet.
This is very sudden. Why?
Because, at least not knowing the language, she won't be able to say unkind things about me to my friends.
Geoffrey, is Jack a bore?
He never bores me.
That's because he shot your tiger and you rubbed his nose. Besides, you talk about horses and so on, and yet I heard him for a solid hour telling you about a rubber he lost at bridge through his partner making diamond trumps when he should have made spades.
He's not clever, of course, and you are. But still, is cleverness everything?
Haven't I told you he's the very best fellow in all the world? And do you think I am posing, pretending that I misunderstood and the rest? You know me better than that. I'm indulging for once in the luxury of absolute candor.
You loved him.
Of course I loved him. And I love him now.
You see?
If we women had had a hand in the making of the language, how many words there would be to express our feelings towards the men we are fond of. Of course I love Jack. I'm cruel to him sometimes, and there comes a look into his eyes. He has dog eyes, you know, a faithful Newfoundland.
I don't think women quite realize what friendship means to a man.
And I am certain that men don't realize what marriage means to a woman. To your funeral, am I not a good wife? Shall I not remain a good wife till the end of the chapter? Because there isn't only Jack. There's Jack's children.
Yes.
And isn't it wonderful when you think of it? Here are we two, Jack's friend and his wife, alone on a desert island, and we have confessed our love for each other, and we're able to discuss it as calmly as though it were rheumatism.
Oh, if only I hadn't induced you to stay.
My dear friend, you didn't.
I didn't?
Why, no, of course not. I knew you were going tomorrow.
How?
Oh, never mind how, I knew. And I suspected you'd be sitting here tonight, so I came down hoping to find you. And I wanted this talk with you, and I extracted your confession as though it had been a tooth.
And why?
Why? Because there will be something to think of in the dull days ahead. Because I knew that you loved me and wanted to be told. Because your life lies before you and mine is ended. Because I love you and insisted that you should know. You leave me now and I have no illusions. Paolo and Francesca were merely a poet's dream. You will marry. Of course you will marry, but this moment at least has been mine.
This moment and every moment, in past and future.
The future. Strange little syllables that hide so much. I can see you introducing your wife to me, a little shyly. I can see myself shaking hands with her, and with you. My boy is 7 already. Time travels fast. But it's good to know that you really have loved me all these years.
By day and by night, you and only you.
And I have loved you. Oh, yes, I have loved you. And having said this to each other, we will not meet again till you bring me your wife.
Ah, then.
I have loved you, and I love you for the fine, upright, loyal creature that you are. I love you for loving Jack, and it's Jack's great quality in my eyes that he has been able to inspire such love. And my dear friends, let us not be ashamed, we too, but only very happy and very proud. We shall go our ways and do our duty, but we shall never forget this talk we had tonight.
I'm beginning to understand.
You will be less lonely in future, and I no longer afraid of the stars. Brave heart, oh, brave little heart that I for a moment have held in my hands.
Gertrude!
No, stay where you are. Those are the first rays of dawn. I must go. Goodbye. We have no need to shake hands, you and I. Oh, Geoffrey. Goodbye.
Hooray! Thank you for joining us today for ZooMatinee. I'd like to introduce our players today. We have Melissa Neufer and Alex Dell. Welcome, and thank you both for joining us today.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, so that's it for our show today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave comments. Please share with friends. And if you'd like to become involved with ZooMatinee, please send an email to, find it, elmyralittletheater@gmail.com. We are looking for directors, actors, and even if you'd like to learn how to run the tech that we use for producing these shows, I would be happy to teach that to you as well. We're also looking for artists who would like to do design concepts like the ones you saw from my husband, Brian Wisenhunt, earlier today, and in the previous two shows. That's what I have. And then unless you guys, I'm going to go ahead and we have some people who left us a couple things. Fantastic. Great job, kids. And thank you. And bravo. So unless you guys have something else to say, I would say that would end our broadcast for today.
Thanks for coming out. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Happy Mother's Day, all.
And